My name is Macy. This is the story of the biggest dream of my life, the hardest work I've ever done, and the most heartbreaking betrayal I've ever faced. I've always wanted a beautiful, peaceful, and joyful home. A home where every room reflects my personality, every corner is filled with my dreams. I spent 9 months on it. Those 9 months weren't just months, they were my effort, my dedication, and my hope. Every day, every moment, I planned, worked, and poured my heart into this house. I spent $62,000 from my savings, keeping track of every penny. It wasn't just money, it was my hard work, my dreams, and an investment in my life. I sent invitations to my family. I baked fresh rolls. I polished our family heirloom silverware. I set the table for 24 guests. I thought, this day will be filled with happiness for everyone. This day would be the day my family celebrates with me. The day they see how much effort I put in, how much love I poured, and how hard I worked to make everything perfect. But when that day came, my family, my own family, was nowhere to be seen. My phone finally buzzed, and I saw pictures from a party that wasn't mine, but my brother Brandon's. A party that was fake, just for show. A person who hadn't even bought a house became the center of everyone's celebration. That betrayal was heart-shattering. I kept asking myself, how is this possible? This story isn't just about pain, it's about revenge. A revenge that was quiet, but powerful. This story is for anyone who has ever been ignored by a toxic family. For anyone fighting for their own right, only to be betrayed by the people they trusted most. This story will show how a heartbreak can turn into a powerful lesson, and a way to take control of your life again. My dream had always been to create a home that wasn't just walls and a roof, but a place filled with emotions, memories, and a reflection of my personality. Every room was carefully designed with the perfect choice of colors and furniture. Every small detail, every corner, reflected my effort and personal taste. I spent 9 months, working from morning till night. It wasn't just physical labor, it was mental, emotional, and financial effort as well. Every paint color, every tile, every light fixture, I chose them myself. I sent invitations to my family. I baked bread and cakes with all my love. I polished the silverware that had been part of our family for generations. I arranged everything as if this day would be remembered forever. I set the table for 24 guests. Every plate, every glass, every napkin was perfectly placed. I thought, this will be the day everyone feels how much effort I put in, how much love I poured, and how much dedication went into making everything perfect. Every effort, every moment, was to create a day filled with happiness. But I never imagined that my own family's absence would hurt me the most on this day. When the day finally arrived, my eyes were full of hope and excitement. I thought, now everyone will be here, sharing in the joy of my dreams. But reality was completely different. My family, the people who were supposed to be with me, were nowhere to be seen. My phone buzzed, and I saw pictures. Not of my celebration, but of my brother Brandon's party. And that too, fake, just for show. A person who hadn't even bought a house became the center of attention. That betrayal broke my heart, but I refused to let it defeat me. This is where my story truly begins, when I decided that this bitter experience wouldn't make me weak, but strong. The moment I realized my family wasn't coming, a wave of disbelief washed over me. I checked the invitations, again and again, hoping I had made a mistake. But no, the RSVPs were clear, they knew about it, and they chose not to come. My heart sank. Months of planning, years of dreaming, and thousands of dollars spent, and all for nothing. Then came the photos. Brandon, my brother, smiling in front of a cake that wasn't real, in a house that wasn't his. And everyone I cared about was there, celebrating him. Not me. Anger bubbled inside me, but more than anger, it was disappointment. How could the people who were supposed to support me, my own family, betray me like this? For a long moment, I considered just walking away. Pretending it didn't hurt. Pretending I was fine. But deep down, I knew I couldn't let it go. This wasn't just about a missed party. It was years of subtle neglect, favoritism, and being overlooked. This was the final straw. I decided I wasn't going to cry about it. I wasn't going to beg for recognition or approval. I would show them, in the quietest, most powerful way possible, that I had built my life on my own terms. I started thinking carefully. Every insult, every slight, every moment I was ignored, I turned it into fuel. This betrayal became my motivation, my blueprint for a silent, yet undeniable revenge. I didn't need to confront them immediately. I didn't need to scream or plead. I needed patience, planning, and precision. And slowly, piece by piece, I began creating a situation where the truth of their neglect and favoritism would be revealed. A way for me to step into my own power and show that I didn't need their validation to succeed. The road ahead wasn't easy. It required restraint, strategy, and careful action. But I had learned one thing from my family's betrayal: they underestimated me. And that would be my advantage. I knew the first step was patience. Rushing into anger would only expose me and weaken my position. Instead, I observed quietly. Every interaction, every comment, every family gathering, they all revealed their patterns. I noticed favoritism, subtle lies, and the way my achievements were always overshadowed by Brandon's successes. I documented everything, small details, things they assumed I would forget. Every slight, every fake compliment, every time they dismissed me, they were all recorded in my mind. I started turning my focus inward. I invested in myself, my career, my passions. I polished my skills, expanded my network, and strengthened my confidence. Every achievement was quiet, personal, yet undeniable. Then came the day when the opportunity presented itself. Brandon had bragged about a party he hadn't really thrown, about things he didn't truly own. I realized I could let the truth speak for itself. I didn't need to call him out publicly. I didn't need to scream or argue. Instead, I created my own celebration. Not for approval, not for recognition, but as a testament to my hard work, resilience, and the life I had built despite their neglect. I invited friends, colleagues, and people who truly mattered. I shared the journey, not to gloat, but to celebrate my own achievements. The photos, the stories, the energy, it was real, tangible, and undeniable. And then, quietly, I let them see. Photos were shared, stories were told, and word spread naturally. I watched as they realized I had succeeded on my own terms. Without their validation, without their attention, without their support. The realization hit them slowly. They couldn't dismiss it, twist it, or ignore it this time. I had created a scenario where the truth was undeniable. Where my efforts, my dreams, and my life stood as proof of what they had underestimated. And in that quiet, calculated way, I finally felt a sense of justice. Not through confrontation or revenge in the traditional sense, but by living fully, succeeding silently, and letting the truth speak for itself. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need their applause. I only needed to see myself for who I truly was, a person who could rise above betrayal, create beauty from heartbreak, and claim her own happiness. Looking back, I realized that the heartbreak was only the beginning. It forced me to see the truth about my family, about their favoritism, and about the way they had treated me for years. At first, it was painful. I felt abandoned, invisible, and undervalued. But over time, I understood that their absence didn't define my worth. I learned that validation from others is temporary. True power comes from within, from knowing your own value and refusing to let others diminish it. By choosing to focus on my own journey, I transformed pain into strength. Every achievement became a quiet victory over the past, over their neglect, and over the expectations they had set for me. I realized revenge doesn't always need to be loud or confrontational. Sometimes, the best revenge is living fully, achieving silently, and letting your life be proof of your strength. The photos of my housewarming, shared with friends and loved ones who truly cared, brought me more joy than any family party ever could. The validation I had sought from them was replaced by a deeper, more meaningful satisfaction, my own pride in what I had accomplished. Now, whenever I think about that day, I don't feel anger or resentment anymore. I feel clarity. I see that the journey, with all its challenges and betrayals, shaped me into the person I am today. I am stronger, wiser, and more self-assured. I have learned to value myself, to trust my instincts, and to create a life that reflects my dreams, not theirs. And while my family may never fully understand or appreciate the path I took, it doesn't matter. Because I no longer need them to validate my success, my happiness, or my worth. I built my dream home, not for them, but for me. I baked those rolls, polished the silverware, and set the table, not for them, but for my own joy and satisfaction. And in the quiet, powerful way that I chose, I found my revenge. Not in anger, not in confrontation, but in triumph, in fulfillment, and in the undeniable truth that I succeeded on my own terms. This story is for anyone who has ever been overlooked, ignored, or betrayed. It's a reminder that your worth is never defined by those who fail to see it. And that the most powerful revenge is living your life fully, authentically, and unapologetically. Because in the end, the person you need to prove yourself to, is yourself.